Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Off and running here on a Wednesday morning, June 24th, 2026. Welcome into TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, and it is the Go Hour, brought to you by the Warehouse at CC Creations. I'm Nick Savage, filling in for David Nuno. To my left, Olin Buchanan, TexAgs columnist and Heisman Trophy voter, as always in the Go Hour, and Luke Evangelist, even farther to my left, TexAgs basketball analyst, and my co-host for today. Gentlemen, glad to have you on the show today. Of course, OB, your last show of the week, I understand. You get the rest of the week off.
Yeah, the girls are taking over Thursday and Friday. So
I told them their shows aren't going to be as good just because they kick you off.
It's going to be like the TexAgs version of The View. So I thought it was a great time to sleep late.
Yeah. No, they actually have some pretty impressive guests.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard talking about Kay Adams. Who the hell's Kay Adams?
She is an NFL analyst, right, Luke?
Yeah. She dabbles in a lot of other sports as well.
Oh, okay.
She's very popular with the youth.
Be careful about talking about being popular. Is she popular with Graveman?
With what?
What?
the Patriots coach.
Oh,
jeez.
Anyway, so I'll be sleeping late on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, well deserved. This is the time of year to do it. You and me know that both. Luke Evangelist obviously with me. Matthew Coughlin's over in the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. And Cade Bickham is behind the glass today. I guess we'll say an early hello to the crew. We'll start with Matthew over in the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Matthew, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm quite well. How are you, Nick?
I'm great. What's on your mind today?
There's a lot on my mind, but the best thing is A&M recruiting, starting with Italia Riho out of Arkansas. Hit 342 last year with a 1037 OPS, 20 extra base hits, started in all 60 games at shortstop, and has some lineage in the MLB. Cousin Jose was an excellent MLB pitcher with a World Series MVP for the Reds in 1990.
Interesting. Well, hopefully that carries over. Trisha Ford keeping the hot recruiting streak for pretty much all Aggie sports right now, it seems like. We'll get into that in a second, OB, because you put out a very interesting article about the recent run that Aggie Athletics has had on the recruiting trail. Cade Bickham behind the glass. Cade, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. You guys are looking great this morning. It's going to be a great show.
That's code word for I have nothing to say. I'm
just trying to bring some positive vibes and energy to the show this morning.
I appreciate it, because Kay Nagley sure wasn't doing that earlier.
It's Wyvetta Wednesday. The mother-in-law got me a new Wyvetta for
looks nice
for Father's Day.
It's got
two
pockets.
Got a lot of pockets. It's Wyvetta.
Love it.
So that's why I'm looking so good.
Yeah.
Well, that and I'm naturally handsome.
Right.
But got this new Wyvetta.
Well, looks good. Yeah. Need to get me one. OB, let's dive into your article you put out, and I know you and Richard briefly touched on it yesterday, but you kind of went over the success overload, maroon momentum, as you put it, over last week while you were out on vacation. And again, it started with Aggie softball recruiting, women's tennis, Nolan Kane. So
I just thought I'm at home last week. It was a staycation. It was like, well, I never use all my vacation time So I might as well start taking some. And I'm looking at every day, something's happening, something big. And I'm like, wait, what a week. What a week, an off-season week. Like I said, like you said, Tricia Ford gets a pitcher who is the Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year to transfer in. I'm looking at baseball. There's like 5 pitchers and the top catcher. And then Nolan Cain coming back. You know, I mean, what a week. Then Ed Hargett goes to the Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame. Scott Livingstone gets chosen to go into the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Football gets 2 commitments, including the number 1 linebacker in the country. I know I'm missing something, but it was like every day.
Bucky McMillan woke up and had breakfast.
Settle down, Sparky. But every day something amazing was happening I'm like, this has got to be one of the best off-season weeks in A&M athletics. Oh, I was leaving out volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball's.
I mean, he got the what is Mia Amari? It sounds like something Lucci would be singing at a wedding. Mia Amari. Don't mind my voice. I'm sorry. But you know,
he got the number 1 overall recruit.
Was that? Oh, for yeah. So I'm like, what an amazing week it was while I was off work. And so, of course, I decided to use that as a reason.
Leverage, yeah.
Hey, Luch, you know, Aggies always have this superstition that if they're on a roll, you don't change anything to interrupt the momentum. So maybe they should just, you know, there's some big recruits out there like Simeon coming up. You know, Aggies have a chance to get him. Maybe they ought to just let me, stay at home and pay me.
I agree.
So as not to interrupt the momentum. Yeah. And what do you know? Simeon's deciding what to do on Friday, and I'm not going to be on the go hour on Friday.
Well,
could be.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
But it was an amazing week of for the A&M athletic department.
Yeah,
I don't even know when did the Cowgirls win the rodeo championship?
That was this past weekend. So
while I was gone.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we'll actually hear from
if there had been some meat judging going on, it would have been epic.
It would have tied it all together perfectly.
I actually did some research. They did win the meat judging again this year.
Are you serious?
That's what somebody on the board said.
There's championships just rolling in here by the dozen. And by the way, you can laugh at all the meat judging. I know. If I get a steak, if somebody judges that to be, a tremendous steak, and then it is, then I'm saying, hey, I'm glad you judged it that way, because then, I know what cut of meat to get. Is that what they do when they're judging meat? Do they decide? I don't know what goes.
I don't know why he
judging.
looked over here.
We need to get we make enough jokes about them. We actually need to get them.
I don't know what goes into meat judging.
I don't either. I couldn't tell you.
But maybe, the only thing I figure is sometimes, you go to the store and I say, this is certified Angus, whatever. And they judge it, say, oh, yeah, you can put that, you can call that number 1 right there. So I say, okay. So anyway, it was a great week for Texas A&M while I was on vacation.
Yeah, and like you said, hopefully it keeps rolling. Little preview of today's show. We got the Go Hour with Olin Buchanan, of course, at 9 o'clock. We're going to get to look at Kay Nagley's new piece of content, The Set, with Ava Underwood and Logan Lednicki on episode 1. Just a little bit of volleyball talk. Luke Evangelist got to go to Aggie basketball's open practice yesterday and a bit of a press conference as well. So we'll hear his thoughts from that. Brandon Leone, former A&M running back, will join me on Zoom. And in the 10 o'clock hour, Ben Keating, a endurance race car driver. He's an Aggie. I'm a big race fan, as I'm sure everyone has figured out by now, as much as I try to cram it into everything I do or talk about. He'll join us on Zoom.
So you're a racist?
No. I
was about to say, which race is your favorite?
Let's move on from that. The Daytona 500. He'll join us on Zoom. The Texas A&M women's national champion rodeo team will join us, and recruiting country with Jason Howell will cap us off. I guess in case you missed it, with Kaylee and Sydney will cap us off. So
you did miss that.
I did miss that, yes.
But you recovered.
I did, yeah. I recovered. OB, no supplemental draft for Brendan Sorsby.
I think that is the football gods standing up and saying, you know what? You have to be punished. You can't get away with what you were getting away with. No, really, I think the NFL said, do we really want to touch this kid?
That's my whole thought process through all of this is who is going to take him.
Yeah, and they're saying, let's not even have to justify it or deal with it. Let's just say we're not going to have a supplemental draft. The kid should have to sit out a year at least.
Yeah.
And back in the old days, it's you're done forever, like Pete Rose. I'm not sure if I want to go that far, but the kid should have to face some serious consequences. So I think the NFL made the right move. And if you're a kid out there, I guarantee you, Sorsby's not the only college athlete out there placed a few bets on their phone. I mean, my son was in college last year. It seemed like he was doing this all the time, just placing bets. Matthew Dawson, former TexAgs guy. The guy, he's like a compulsive gambler on his phone.
He's a calculated gambler.
A calculated compulsive gambler. So what's going on here is they're saying, hey, we're giving all of you kids out there, and even not kids, if you're going to play the sport, we're showing you why you don't gamble. Because if you do, you're going to be ineligible to play, and we're serious about it. And the NFL came in and said, yeah, we're serious about it too. Mm-hmm. So that's what should happen. Sorsby should have to face some consequences, whether he has an addiction or not.
Do you think he'll go play in like the UFL or something like that?
I think so. The Houston Gamblers should probably pick him. Dude. Great marketing opportunity for them.
How funny will it be if that actually happens?
That'd be so appropriate.
He's got to wait out a year. That's the next best league.
Yeah.
Might as well.
The Houston Gamblers, led by Brendan Sorsby.
It'd be perfect.
It would. I would actually
sponsored by DraftKings.
I would actually go to. I might want to go to a game for that.
Yeah. I guess the biggest college football news that came out, we're kind of in the doldrums of summer here looking for stuff to talk about. Biggest news that came out yesterday is the NCAA approved the new eligibility model, the 5 years to play 5 seasons. Yeah. And so that's going to go into effect this summer. It's going to start with the 2027 class. So when they get to campus, they got 5 years to play 5 seasons. Athletes whose 4th season of college eligibility was completed by spring of 2026 will not receive additional eligibility, but of course lawsuits are expected. So what does that mean for college athletics, OB?
I think it's a good move. I think they're also protecting themselves. The university said, look, okay, now you get to play 5 years. I don't know if they're going to call the 5th-year senior a super senior. They may call them just grads, even though a lot of them won't be graduated. But the great thing is a guy like TJ Finley, who I think's he's been playing college football so long, he should be Dr. Finley.
Yeah.
Right? And so a guy like that, until the lawyers get involved, isn't going to be able to game the system all the time. And I saw, who was it, the quarterback at, where was it? UNLV. Won it, hey, don't like what's going on with my NIL deal.
Yep.
So I played 4 games, so I'm out because I don't want to use up a year of eligibility because I got 4 games where I can play in red shirt. Now it's like, oh, you played those 4 games and you're out? Okay, well, that's one of your seasons gone. There's no red shirt year, but you get 5 seasons to play. Mm-hmm. So a guy like Marcel Reed, who right now has 2 seasons of eligibility left that he may or may not take, would have 3 seasons of eligibility left.
Yep.
And I think he may have used a redshirt year, but
I think he
use it.
He appeared in the first year, so he'd have this year and then next year.
That first year, well, that's what he has now, right? That first year he played 1 game, so that would have fallen under a redshirt year. But the point is that you can't say it's not like, hey, we're going to play the guy 4 games and then not play him anymore, or hey, we're not going to play him until we get to this 8th game because we want to be able to keep him around. No, he can play, and I think it keeps the jock from also trying to manipulate his team. So I think it's smart. I think it's time to update some of the rules. But like you said, there's going to be somebody's going to get a lawyer and maybe try to find a sympathetic judge, and they don't like what their situation is, and they'll keep trying to change it.
Well, it's already happening in college basketball, which I think is the sport that this new ruling is hitting the hardest. There's already over 50 players who were seniors last year, played 4 years. Their eligibility ended, and now they're trying to sue for an additional year. And the ruling came out, midday yesterday, and there's already lawyers putting together cases. But in terms of college basketball as a whole, I think it's great because you have teams trying to bring in 25 and 26-year-olds. And this is also coming from a place of privilege. We need to recognize that Rashawn Agee would have been cut out of playing college basketball had they approved this last year. So thank you to the NCAA for waiting a year to get this done. Truly, we cannot thank you enough. But now that the rule is in place, absolutely get all those players that are 24, 25, 26 years old trying to play college basketball and play for LSU out of the sport. We need to kick them out. They're too old. Don't let them play.
Yeah, that needs to be the next thing. And I know this would affect A&M too. But the next thing they got to come in with their rules is if you've played on a professional level, or if you went into a draft, you just lost your eligibility. You forfeited your eligibility. Mm-hmm. That said, if you've never played professionally or collegiately, and say you went into the Army or something, and you came out and you're 30 years old and want to play college football for your team, I think you should be able to. Mm-hmm. You should have 5 years.
I think I read somewhere there was waivers for military service, like religious missions.
Well, they've been doing that for BYU forever.
So,
I'm just saying, a lot of times people say, "Yeah, well, you're too old to play." And I said, "No. If you can play and you have eligibility, it shouldn't matter how old you are." Mm-hmm. So these are some of those things, like what we were saying about the guys who have played in professional leagues. I think that's something they're going to work out. And if it means some guys can't come from Europe, then they can't come from Europe, and that means an American kid's going to get a scholarship that they've saved for some European kids, and I'm completely on board with that.
Mm-hmm. OB, this is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. This is the Rollo Insurance Studio. I'll leave the rest up to you. So the Go Hour, what's that presented by? The
Go Hour is brought to you by the Warehouse at CC Creations.
Okay, and if people want to get in touch with us, if they wanted to call, we're not taking calls today, by the way, but if they were to call when David's in the host chair, what would that be?
Well, if you want to call and be part of the show, you'll call us on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Give them that number.
979-693-1150.
Right. And you can say that if you want to use that same number, but you want to text, then that's on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line.
979-693-1150.
Same number. And we're often, not today, over there in what would be known as...
Me and Luke aren't cool enough.
Well, that goes without saying. At the holistic
I think it's more
planning,
so we couldn't fit OB in there.
The Holistic Planning Cool Zone. But the Cool Zone travels because nothing's cooler than making money, keeping your money, keeping it from the IRS. You know, I'm not saying that they're going to cheat. I'm going to say, hey, they figure out ways that legally that you can maintain your money. Wealth is a good thing. No matter what some people say now, wealth is a good thing. And if you want to help, Holistic Planning will help you build it.
Absolutely. We already said hi to everyone around the room. Again, Matthew is hanging out at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. We'll hit our first break here. And on the other side, more discussion about something not sure yet. This is TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Hey everyone, David Nuno here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it.
Welcome back here, TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner Jewelers here inside the Rollo Insurance Studio. Nick Savage and Luke Evangelist filling in for David Nuno. Olin Buchanan with us here on the Go Hour, of course. And OB,
yeah,
I know you're a big gamer. Like, you go home and you fire up the Xbox and you're gaming. You're playing Call of Duty. You're playing Fortnite.
No.
So I know you're excited about College Football 27, right? And they just came out with their team ratings, right? So this is effectively just another ranking, right? It's the off season. We go through rankings. So maybe we'll go through a few of these top teams and you can give us your opinion.
And this is for 27?
This is for their upcoming games. So
okay.
I guess they're projecting what this year's team is going to be.
Oh, okay.
Their top-rated team this year, Oregon, 91 overall. It's on a scale of 0 to 100.
Okay.
Obviously. All right with it? Ohio State, 90. Indiana, 90.
I do know if Ohio State and Oregon play like today, I'm picking Ohio State.
Yeah. The 3 top-rated teams are Big Ten teams.
Okay.
Okay with that?
Yeah, I mean...
they have won the last 3 national titles.
I do think Indiana's probably going to take a step back. What does a step back mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you lose in the national championship game, then you should need to be number 3, right?
Well, so in basketball, a step back is when you have the ball and then you take a step back and then shoot it.
I don't know if you were aware of this. Maybe you were asleep, but we're talking about football here.
Right. No, but you said, what is a step back? And I just had to impart wisdom.
Yeah.
My co-host really bringing some good content to the show.
Yeah.
I'm just here to frustrate OB.
Notre Dame, 89 overall. They're the 4th highest rated team.
Notre Dame's going to, I can tell you right now, they're in the playoff because they have a schedule that, if you, I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to be good. I'm not saying they're not good, but their schedule is so weak that one loss, which they won't have, but one loss should eliminate them because the schedule is so monumentally weak. It's like BYU in '84.
Yeah, we've made it to our first SEC team. Who do you think it is?
Probably Georgia, maybe Texas. But
It's Texas. They're 89 overall.
Okay.
Followed by LSU, 88 overall. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I think people are going all in a little too early on LSU. Yeah.
The Lane Kiffin factor? You think that's what it is?
He's a heck of a coach. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he always has been, but I've seen him have great teams at like Mississippi and lose to Kentucky and things like that. It's not like he never makes mistakes. And there's all this excitement around that quarterback from Arizona State, but I still wonder about their defense over it. And their O-line. I know they got the guy from Colorado. Okay, that's one guy. Last year, they were rebuilding the offensive line with a bunch of transfers, and it didn't really work out for them. The guy from Northwest said, "Oh, this is the great guy, the greatest get," and all this. They couldn't wait to get rid of him. So and the thing also about LSU is now there's this narrative that Brian Kelly was a terrible coach. He was never a terrible coach. Maybe he was a terrible fit, but I don't know. I think LSU is going to be good, but to say that they're, according to that, one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the country, I'm saying I'm going to have to, pump the brakes on that.
OB. Also, something to note with Sam Leavitt is just he's been in the last 2 years in the Big 12. He's had the leading rusher for the Big 12, and he's had a top 3 receiver in the Big 12.
Right. Well, they always seem to find good receivers at LSU. And Kiffin always seems to find good receivers. So I think they'll be good at receiver. They have nice running backs. They don't have Kwan Lacey. I think they tried to get him. But they have nice running backs. What's his name? Harlem Berry?
Caden Durham as well.
Yeah, but Harlem Berry started the second half of the year for him. I think they got a 1-2 punch is pretty good. Offensively, they're going to be good. Especially in the skill positions. I think there's still some questions.
Trey Green as well.
Yeah, big old 6'7" tight end.
They need to put him on the basketball court.
But I still question their offensive line, and I question their defense. It's funny. Remember for about 2 or 3 years, we talked about how great the LSU defense was, and one of the big reasons was Harold Perkins. And now they were Harold Perkins doesn't matter. We're glad he's gone.
Yeah. Should never burn that hat.
There you go.
Miami. It's number 7 on this list. They're 88 overall, followed by Ole Miss, then Georgia.
I think I'd take Ole Miss before I take Miami this year.
Okay.
I mean, look at all the guys that are gone from that Miami team. I mean, guys, they still have the receiver, and he's amazing. But, the offensive linemen, the defensive linemen that are gone from that team, the quarterback, of course.
They still have Fletcher, the running back.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, we know he's good. Yeah. Man, those defensive linemen, and I think the kid that had the interception for a touchdown against, who was that against? Was it against Ohio State? Who transferred, I think, from Georgia, Scott, yeah, or maybe it's from Auburn. Anyway, I think he's done too. So
Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of holes to fill. With Ole Miss, you give me Trinidad Chambliss and Kawan Lacey, and I'll start filling in holes around them. Think I'm pretty good, but we'll see.
I mentioned Georgia, Oklahoma, 87 as well, followed by Texas Tech. Not to A&M yet. Got Alabama at 86, BYU at 86, and then Texas A&M at 86.
You know, it's funny to me, and I don't have a problem with that, but if I was asking somebody, well, why would you have A&M? What would be your apprehension about A&M? And they say, well, the offensive line on this. I'm going, okay, but you don't have any apprehension about, again, LSU's offensive line, right? So they have A&M what, about the top 15?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Your thoughts on Kyle Field being the 10th toughest place to play on college football?
Well, I've said this before. I'm not going to change my mind on this. Kyle Field, Texas A&M and Kyle Field gives you maybe the best atmosphere in college football. But I don't think of it as a intimidating place. Because by and large, the Aggie fans are well behaved. Being loud is not intimidating. It can be problematic without a doubt, but it's not intimidating. You're in the SEC. Everywhere you go is going to be loud. You're going to have twice the size of a crowd at Mississippi State, but Mississippi State, they're going to have those godforsaken cowbells. It's going to be loud. At South Carolina, they're going to be, you got 60, 70,000 rednecks losing their minds while they're got that godforsaken rooster every time they, everywhere you go is loud. My point is, so I don't necessarily mind that A&M's not considered, the toughest place to play, because I don't want A&M to be like when you go to Colorado and people are throwing stuff at you like they did in Denver, or some places where like Miami was awful.
Really?
Yeah. You can talk to some of the A&M fans that went to Miami. I don't want A&M to be that way. I want them to be really loud. I want them to be problematic for Europe. Well, who was the guy a couple of years ago? I can't remember what, and he was said, "Oh, the decibel." He didn't say decibel.
That Missouri quarterback.
The Missouri quarterback saying it's not going to be a problem. It was a problem.
Yeah.
But he never had to worry about He didn't have to worry about anything other than the decibel levels. Now, let's be honest. Really, most places that's the case. Because when was the last time you ever heard somebody actually come out of the stands and try to affect the game?
Yeah.
Right. So, but it's just.
You mean like the person or something they threw?
I'm just saying it.
Because I can think of a team that throws stuff.
Texas, Tennessee. But you don't see that at A&M.
Right.
And that's why I'm trying to get at. It's a great atmosphere, maybe the best atmosphere in college. And it is loud, and the decibel levels can obviously be problematic. But I don't think of it as being an intimidating place to play.
Yeah. One of my favorite, you're talking about the Missouri quarterback, one of my favorite memories was when Josh Rosen and UCLA came here. He said something about like, oh, it all sounds the same after 50,000. And then he was pumping up the crowd, and then he threw a pick immediately after that. So we'll hit a break here, guys. On the other side, again, I don't know what we'll get into. More college football talk, something. Come on back. This is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Garner's Jewelers.
Was there ever a college football quarterback more hyped up than
Hey friends, David Nuno here for the Association of Former Students, and have you checked out the latest issue of the Texas Aggie magazine? The May through June issue is a special Aggie Spirits issue that includes all things Aggie: wine, beer, mead, spirits, and much, much more. And the team at the Association of Former Students searched far and wide for Aggie-owned businesses, breweries, wineries across the state, the country, and even the world. That's right, the globe, baby. And as much as could be found has been compiled into the magazine for the Aggie Network. Now, normally, the Texas Aggie magazine is available only to Century Club members. However, this issue is available to everyone. So to read the issue and explore giving to receive future issues, visit tx.ag/TexasAggie. That is tx.ag/TexasAggie. Again, don't miss the special Aggie Spirits issue of the Texas Aggie to explore all things Aggie: wine, beer, mead, spirits, and much, much more. It is tx.ag/TexasAggie. Check it out. Hey everyone, David Nuno of TexAgs Live, and I'm here with Brandon Moreau of Brazos Valley Floor and Design. They're a family-owned business, and Brandon used to work for the A&M football team, the Texans, you name it. Brandon, tell us a little bit about Brazos Valley Floor and Design.
Yeah, like you said, family business. We started in 1999. It was in a small feed store, and about 4 years later, my dad decided he wanted to grow the business and kind of focus on that. So we're in the location we are at now, and we have a large showroom with salespeople with designer experience, a lot of stocking power, and we catered a lot to residential builders, and we do a little commercial work as well.
Tell me about your other company as well, Premier Countertop Design.
Yeah, Premier Countertop Design is right there on site, so it's kind of a one-stop shop. People can come by, they can look at their slabs that they're going to cut, they're going to compare to their cabinet colors, their backsplash that they're going to do at our flooring store, and we have a lot of digital. We're doing a lot of digital stuff. We're templating, water jet, laser measuring, all different things like that.
So tell me a little bit about what sets you guys apart from the rest of the competition.
I think just being here in the community for 27 years in business, and our vendors that we have the relationships with, the pricing we can get because of how much we can buy in stock and things like that. And then as far as the countertop business, it's just the way we can be precise with what we do.
All right, there you have it, guys. Check out the website, bbflooranddesign.com and premiercountertopdesign.com.
Back here on a Wednesday edition of TexAgs Live. We're inside the Rollo Insurance Studio, and it is the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creation. And as a reminder, the final segment of the show is brought to you by Double Dave's. That is at 10:50, but right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150, will hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. Serving Aggieland since 1984, Double Dave's Pizza serving up your favorite pizza and world-famous pepperoni rolls with reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. Olin Buchanan, Luke Evangelist with me. And guys, let's react to this CBS Sports article. One transfer portal addition who could swing college football playoff hopes for every post-spring top 25 team. This is by Chris Hummer, like I said, over at CBS Sports. And he has A&M number 8 in his post-spring top 25. And his player is Tyree Adams. We were talking a lot about the offensive line today. Tyree Adams, offensive tackle transfer from LSU. And this is what he says. That reads Adams, but could just as easily say Wilkin Formby. The Aggies offense took a leap last season to a top 25 unit, and one of the biggest reasons why was the offensive line. But Mark Nabu is the only returning starter from that group as A&M looked to replace both tackles. The Aggies went to the portal to address those needs. Both players have SEC experience, but both were up and down at times in 2025. Adams recorded only a 55.5 PFF grade, and Formby got kicked inside to guard late in the season for Alabama. A&M needs both players to emerge as above-average SEC starters if it hopes to maintain its 2025 offensive momentum.
I don't understand why anybody does a list or a story or however he says, the one guy that has to make a difference, and then you give me two. All right? First,
he pulled a Lucci?
Yeah.
Lucci would have given 3.
So my answer to that would be Isaiah Horton. Because my thing is, he's replacing essentially the best player on the team, right? Casey Concepcion. I mean, somebody might say, no, it's Cassius Howell, but I think Casey was probably the best player on the team, at least in my mind. So essentially, Horton's replacing him. The entire offensive line, almost the entire offensive line has to be rebuilt. 2 guards, two tackles. So, of course, that's going to be. But if one guy on the offensive line comes in like Adams, is good, but everybody else that you brought in is unable to do the job, it doesn't matter how good he is. Because the offensive line, one guy, one bad link in the 5 can screw up an entire offensive line. So if I'm going to say one guy, to me, then it's going to be Horton. Or if you want to say, maybe it's Anton Saka.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking if you're picking one player, it better be replacing your best player. And so that's why I'm like, it's got to be somebody that's either replacing Casey Concepcion or Cassius Howell. And so it's, in my mind, I'm thinking the exact same thing as OB. It's either Isaiah Horton or Anto Saka.
I want to throw you all 2 names. What about Ray Coney? And that's just because Damian Sanford's injury.
Yeah. I mean, there's what about Ricky Gibson?
Yeah.
Because, again, he's replacing a guy that got drafted that may have been your best corner, and he hadn't played in over a year, right? And it's like I said about the offensive line, one bad guy can screw it up. And I think Gibson, from everything I've heard, he's ready to go and he's really good. But what if he turned out to be a problem? Well, I guess we'll throw there.
Yeah. Ricky was in here yesterday for a Texas Aggies United interview, and he said he was full go. He's ready to roll. I'll give you one more, and I know it's not necessarily glamorous, but David Olano, the kicker.
Yeah. I mean, look, Randy Bond, great kid, really smart, probably make $1 million before he's 30, just, on brain power. But I have to admit, whenever he came out to kick a field goal, no matter how short it was, I was a little bit stressed. And I'm based on his track record. Olano, I think he's 86% in his career. I look forward to a season which the kicker comes out. I'm thinking, okay, might as well put 3 points on the board here.
Yeah, 87% last season.
And I think for his career, he's 86. So he didn't have just one good year. He's been, pretty good in his career. So, I mean, you could make that, that's legit. But I'll still go back. For me, it's Isaiah Horton. I think with Isaiah Horton, the wide receiver position can still be the strength of the entire team.
Luke, any other names stick out to you?
Obi kind of took all of them.
Well, as I said, I said Saka, you could make that argument, and you said, you jumped on and said, yeah, that's what I was saying. And he brought up Coney, And that makes sense. You know, frankly, when you bring in as many transfers as A&M did, you know, there's a lot of guys that can come in and help you. And quite frankly, the one I mentioned, this is going against my own argument, but I think the A&M receiving core would be really good even if they didn't have Isaiah Horton. What I'm saying is Isaiah Horton, if he's as good as we think he is, A&M still has one of the top 5 or 6, top 10 receiving cores in the nation.
Mm-hmm. I know we kind of already talked about this, OB, but I feel like this is going to be a big talking point throughout the offseason. Already is. We talked about LSU's offensive line didn't work because it was a bunch of transfers that maybe they missed on or whatnot. What gives you confidence that it's going to work for A&M this year? Because they're trying to rebuild through the transfer portal.
First thing, what gives me confidence it's going to work. I'm going to bring 2 guys that aren't even offensive linemen. That gives me confidence that this is going to work. And they are Nate Bokacher and Tyler Onyedem. And the point I'm making is when you got a coach that can say, this guy that's caught like 19 passes in 4 seasons and 1 touchdown, I can bring him in here and make him a player that's going to be a second-round draft choice. Yeah. And then he did. Or this guy is playing on the end in a 3-man front at Iowa State, and I see something in him, and I can bring him in here and put him inside and make him a 3rd-round draft choice. What I'm getting at, I've got a coach here that has great evaluation skills, and he can see things in a guy. He's shown this. He's not 100%, but he's shown this. I can see things in this guy where we can put him in, and maybe all he needs is a little bit better coaching, because I guarantee you, I've got friends over at LSU, and they were telling me how bad their offensive line coach was. So I got Adam Cushing. Mm-hmm. So give me Mike Elko evaluating the talent and bringing guys in based on what he sees in them, and then give him a coach like Adam Cushing to coach them up. And if the guy didn't have talent, he wouldn't have been at LSU in the first place. I mean, say what you want to about LSU, but they don't take money from the children's college, children's hospital to give the guys who can't play.
Yeah.
So he obviously has talent. Now he's going to get coaching.
All righty. We'll hit a break here. One more segment of the Go Hour on the other side. You're listening to TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
I'm Wes Mangan, and I live on a piece of property with my wife and 2 boys and several animals. I work in oil and gas, and I travel a lot, and so when I come home, it's like my sanctuary. I get to see Lauren and the boys, and it's been just a perfect fit for us, and it's really improved our family time. And this is the first land I'd ever purchased, so dealing with the land side of things and dealing with Capital Farm Credit was super easy for us through the whole process. I definitely feel like with Capital Farm Credit, together we are better.
Final segment of the Go Hour here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner Jewelers. We're here inside the Rollo Insurance Studio. And as we wrap up the 8 o'clock hour, we'll go over to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Matthew Coughlin's got a few Aggies in the MLB updates for us, Matthew.
Yes, so 3 pitchers today, starting with Michael Wacha of the Kansas City Royals. He currently leads Major League Baseball in innings pitched with 101 to a 3.48 ERA, on pace for a career best season. Is 2.3 wins above replacement at the halfway point. His career high is 3.2. And on Monday, pitched 7 innings, giving up just 1 run while earning the win over the Tampa Bay Rays. Bryce Miller has been one of the best pitchers in baseball since his season debut on May 13th. A 1.58 ERA and a 170 batting average against, are both 5th in MLB during that time, and a 200 on base against, which is 2nd. His next start will most likely be tomorrow against the Pirates. And A.J. Minter, since being activated off the IL for the Mets, has pitched 10 scoreless innings.
Good to have him back. Didn't even realize he started the season on the shelf, but good to have him back. Anything else you got for us?
Yeah, one more thing. So NBA draft was last night. 5 players were selected out of the SEC, and A&M last year played against 4 of them. Darius Acuff, Nate Ament, Dalen Swain, and LeBaron Philon.
Wait, who was the 5th they didn't play against?
Jaden Quaintance was injured.
Oh, yeah.
Kentucky.
What a pick for the Spurs. Like, I get it. You just played for a NBA title, but I couldn't imagine like not necessarily mortgaging my future, but like picking a dude in the top 10 who played like 3 games last year and has horrible injury history. But it's all about upside. I don't make the decisions in the NBA. If he turns out to be an all-pro, I get it. But as a not necessarily a Spurs fan, but as a Spurs enjoyer, I much preferred the Terrace Reed pick at like 20 compared to a guy who has horrible knees at the age of 18. But that's just me.
I'll take your word for it.
And the Spurs have one of the youngest teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
So maybe, so they don't care. They can take a shot on somebody because, hey, we're already young.
Yeah, absolutely. OB, as we wrap things up, I had this thought just a second ago. What was your favorite moment to cover this year in the 2025-26 athletic calendar, just because we're wrapping it up?
You got to understand there's 2. I don't want to do like, the guy that I'm going to pick one. I think it was the dismantling and taking over of Death Valley.
Yep.
And beating LSU. I was there the last time they had done it, and to see them do it again. So I put that as an edge over beating. You got to understand my hatred for Notre Dame. So beating Notre Dame, that was amazing. But just making the people at LSU leave early, that was pretty awesome.
About 50 seconds here. What was your favorite thing to experience as a fan this year? I know you obviously can't count basketball or football. I know you got to go to a lot of baseball games.
Yeah. Went to the Texas volleyball game.
Okay. Yeah, that's a highlight.
And
for
that
sure.
was pretty. That was pretty amazing.
Awesome. Well, sweet, OB. Thank you. Enjoy a few days off. We'll hit a break here. That'll do it for the Go Hour. On the other side, we'll get a little sneak peek of Kay Nagley's new piece of content, the set all about Aggie volleyball. We'll get you your fix on the other side. This is TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner Jewelers. We'll go back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner Jewelers. Nick Savage and Luke Evangelos filling in for David Nuno. Kay Nagley, Callie Garner in the host chairs tomorrow and Friday. And you'll get a little bit of Kay Nagley on this segment. We'll debut her new piece of content, The Set, and it's all about Aggie volleyball. You win a national championship, you get your own show, right? Yep. So we're gonna show you just that. Kay Nagley sat down with Ava Underwood and Logan Lednicki right here in the Rollo Insurance studio, just to preview the 2026 season and kind of react to some of the big-time recruits that Jamie Morrison and co have landed over there at Reed Arena. So here it is. Check it out. The Set, episode 1.
Howdy, Ags, and welcome into the very first episode of The Set. And I am joined by none other than two Texas A&M greats, national champions, Logan Lednicki, Ava Underwood. Thank you for joining the first episode.
Of course. Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us. Of course.
It feels good to be back.
I know. So y'all have both sat in these chairs in separate instances, and I feel like it's been funny to watch y'all's growth. I've been a student with y'all, and then I graduated, and y'all were still in school. And I was like, you just had a 22nd birthday, and I'm like, Logan feels like she's 25 in my eyes. But
we've grown up together.
I know. It is cool to watch.
You just can't get rid of us. I know. Really.
That is not my goal at all, I promise. Especially after what y'all just did. And I want to just catch up briefly. Both of y'all tell me about how life has been since taking home the crown.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, I think, you come off that as such a high, and then it's like, okay, what's next? For me, as I'm still a student here, I still go to school. So I'm experiencing my first summer and actually able to go hang out with my family and travel around Texas and travel around pretty much everywhere. Yeah. I adopted a dog recently, so that's new. But just really taking in the summer and just kind of riding that high for sure.
It's been a whirlwind a little bit. Life, I mean, as she said, you kind of finish and it's like, what's next? I feel like all of us on the team kind of went through that, going our own separate ways right after we won. But pretty much as soon as we finished, started first pro season with Love in Houston. So it was nice to kind of be back home while making that transition. A lot of volleyball was played for almost a year. So I've kind of been enjoying my summer too. Took May off. And I'm back here in College Station, just working out, hanging out. So it's been good.
Was that transition super quick from the turnaround from winning an Addie to okay, I'm a pro player?
It was literally, we won, we had Christmas, and then a week later, I was in the practice gym in Houston. And it was all right, page flip, move on, I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit crazy, but it was nice. We all got the little reunion when we went to DC and got to kind of enjoy each other a little bit more since we all went our separate ways after that. So
yeah, and hats off to you for that.
I definitely enjoyed my break.
I was laughing because anytime I talk to her, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to Pilates, I'm going to class. And it's I'm training every day. I'm Logan, you queen.
Yeah, I don't know how
the woman you are, Logan.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, I want to ask each of y'all. I feel like I've had a couple of the current student athletes in here that are still playing about, just talking to them about if they feel like they really got to enjoy the title. So I'm curious in y'all's perspective, everything happened in a flash. It was so instant. Christmas hit. Do you really felt like it ever soaked in?
That's tough. Because I really don't know if it'll ever soak in, truly. Still to this day, she'll text me or we'll text each other and be like, dude, we won a natty. Are we serious? And so I think from that aspect, I don't know if it'll ever soak in, but this fall, we're going to do a banner drop, a celebration weekend with football, and volleyball plays Wisconsin. So I think that will be really good for us, as a team to, feel super celebrated, because there was no parade or nothing like that because it was Christmas break and no students were here. So I think that weekend in the fall will be really good. Yeah.
I'll always reflect on when Jamie pulled us aside after we got off the bus, after winning, being at Reed, and he was like, this is the last time for a while that you guys are all going to be together.
Yeah.
And I think we didn't really realize it until we realized it oh my gosh, everyone's going their separate ways. We have people going to play pro, we have people transferring, we have people staying in College Station, finishing school.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of doing their own thing. And so I think everyone's gotten to celebrate in different ways. And like Logan said, I don't think it'll ever hit of what we actually did, the magnitude of what we did. Because again, we have those moments of, oh my gosh, we really did that.
Oh, yeah.
We won a national championship. And then, you'll have people come up to you at a random place and be like, oh my gosh, congrats. And it kind of gives you that realization of, oh my gosh, we just did that. But on the normal day-to-day, it doesn't feel very real. I'm super blessed that I've gotten to be here and just, kind of soak it all in. And that was part of my reason of kind of drawing out my degree a little bit. That's why I'm not graduating until December.
Yeah.
To just, soak up being an Aggie and being in Aggie land. So, yeah, it hasn't really hit. It hits at certain times.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a nice little reminder, though.
You're like,
oh, yeah.
Wait a second. I even think from like the media perspective, we were totally planning on, like me and Callie Garner, who went to Kansas City, we were totally planning on covering that football game against Miami.
Yeah.
And not to say I didn't think y'all were going to do it, but there was a little bit of like, okay, this is what we think we're doing. And then everything flipped on its head. And it's like, okay, you're leaving for Kansas City tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was like,
Pack bags.
Wow.
Come on, guys.
Let's go. I was like, thanks, Logan and Ava, for the trip.
You're welcome.
Trip to Kansas City. But I want to start off with our first topic. And the main reason I got y'all in here is want to just talk recruiting. Texas A&M had a huge 2028 recruiting haul. And first, before we get into that, I want each of y'all's recruiting stories because I think they're probably very interesting. Jamie Morrison was not the coach at the time. Mm-hmm. So both of y'all just want to run me through what was probably an interesting time in y'all's lives.
Yeah. You can start it off. We'll give the spark notes because I think recruiting was a lot more complicated back then than it is now.
For sure.
Long story short, recruiting rules were a bit different when we started. And we kind of got caught in the crossfire of like when the June 15th date began. And so a lot of us started recruiting. I mean, we're getting calls in 8th and 9th grade. And we had friends that committed in the 8th grade. Mm-hmm. So stuff like that was happening. And it was all just kind of hectic. But around kind of when COVID started, the rule changed. And then we got like a dead period. So it was almost like a year of no contact, which we had already started recruiting and stuff. To wait for June 15th of our junior year. And so, long story short, I always wanted to be an Aggie, obviously 4th generation dad. We all know the story.
Wait, really? I want to hear it again.
Oh, yeah. Spark notes. And so I definitely was not good enough at the time when I began recruiting. So I was looking at pretty much no Power 5 schools when I first started. Then I would consider myself a late bloomer. So like 15, 16's year, started getting a little bit more looks, and that's kind of A&M was looking, but not really. And then the rule changed and everything. But I committed probably 3 weeks after the June 15th date. So committed, because I wanted to be an Aggie, not necessarily for the program. And I'll forever, love that decision that I made, that I didn't just, chase the medals and chase the volleyball, but, knowing that I can grow something. And it was kind of a you go, I go situation with Ava. We played club together. And so when she did it, I was like, all right, like we're going, I guess. Yeah. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's the part that I love most about like that you can definitely, compare with both of our recruiting stories because they are a bit different. But like we both just wanted to be Aggies at the end of the day. And we always had that in the back of our minds. But mine started, I remember getting on calls in 8th grade, and that's when it kind of picked up. And a lot of times for my position at the time, you could recruit a lot earlier because it's like we weren't going to grow much more. And you kind of knew, like, there wasn't much more, of course, like skill development, yes, but like you kind of knew the frame and everything.
Yeah.
Which for a libero, it's like you don't really need height or anything like that. So, so 8th grade is when it kind of kicked off, which is insane when you think about it, of being an 8th grader and going and getting on. I mean, you think of it as like a business call. I mean, you're trying to make decisions, and it's like an interview. And I think that helped me grow up and mature a lot quicker. So started that, started to get on the phone. I had my first offer in 8th grade, and then kind of took off from there. And we kind of knew that the rule change was coming. It had been talked about because, again, as an 8th grader, you don't know what you're going to want as a senior in high school. You really don't. So going into this, my parents were very good at guiding me of just like, hey, like take your time. Because as an 8th grader, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to commit on my first offer.
For sure.
But once I like took a breath and had great guidance from, the people who ran my club, my coaches, Jen Woods, and then my family, like it really helped me prolong that process. So went through that, and then sophomore year, when I heard the rule change was coming, I had decided that I was at a point in my recruiting process that I wanted to make a decision before the rule change. A&M had come into the picture. And for me, this is kind of ironic, but it came down to A&M in Kentucky.
Okay.
Which is like full circle moment. Yeah. Kind of crazy how that worked out. And I had just decided, the question came down to, and we have always talked about this, of like, where would you be happiest if you weren't playing volleyball? Because we know at any point you could get hurt, you could get the game taken away from you. And so that's what my decision came down to. And again, coming back to like, if you go, I go, it kind of just came down to like, hey, let's go and let's build something.
Yeah.
And we knew at the time, like we weren't committing to, necessarily the success of the program, but what we thought it could be.
Yeah.
So I ended up committing right before the rule change. And then I couldn't talk to my coaches for a year.
Crazy. That's so crazy how that all worked.
Pretty wild.
That is wild. I want to, speaking of recruiting and development and all this stuff, I imagine when Jamie Morrison got on campus, I don't think he had to re-recruit y'all per se, but there was definitely something he had to kind of sell you on. So just talk to me about when Jamie came here, what were the conversations of like, and I'm sure y'all knew him through all the USA ranks and everything like that, but just selling you on what it could be.
Yeah. I mean, we had known him too previously from Skyline because he coached at Skyline as well when we were still there. And so we kind of already knew he was the unique hire, but that was like a draw. And like, that's like, we wanted that because, I mean, same old wasn't going to build something. And so I don't know if he necessarily had to sell us. Like, he obviously has some very interesting coaching tactics and drills and words that he says that sometimes you're like, what are you saying? But we knew he had a goal and a plan. And so from day one of him in the gym, like it was a matter of, I think, getting everyone else on board with his vision and his plan. And so, but I think we knew from day one, like what he had in mind.
Yeah, he was the outside of the box option for sure. And it was something different. It was something unique. And volleyball has changed so much over the last couple of years and it's been evolving a lot. And I think that he's like the forefront of that. I mean, his coaching style, the way he thinks about the game, the way he progresses the game, like he is becoming one of the leaders of like advancing the game.
Yeah.
I remember there's lots of stuff that, they implement in men's volleyball that he came in and immediately implemented in our gym. And that's what made it so high level. And that's what had us progress so quickly. So when we heard that he was an option, it wasn't too hard to convince. I mean, we knew that was the person who was going to help turn this thing around. And again, like our goal is we wanted to stay here and we wanted to be Aggies. And he was the guy who we thought could, really help us out there.
Yeah, y'all had no plans on leaving, and obviously it paid off.
So I wanted this thing really bad.
Right?
Yeah, seriously,
really
we
bad.
hadn't gotten our rings yet. I was like, we can't leave. Like,
now y'all have 2 rings.
No, literally.
I want to talk about this 2028 class briefly, just run through some of the names on my end. Maya Mortensen committed. She was the first in the class. Maya Obog was the second. And then Amari Frazier also committed last week. So 3 in the boat for Jamie Morrison and company. And just to talk about the class as a whole, just tell me, like, these are all top 20 players. Just when you have an elite level high school product, how beneficial do you think that is for the program just as a whole, knowing that the future looks really great?
I think first off, my reaction was wow. That is a heck of a recruiting class coming out. And I think it's really special to have those kind of recruits coming in following what we just did. Because again, our goal being here was to create something that would last. So when I saw all of those posts, it was just like a sigh of like, oh my gosh, like it's building into what we've always thought it could become.
Yeah.
I remember telling Jamie when he came here of just, look, like, I don't know if we're going to see the benefits of my time here, but my goal is to be here and help create something. And this is the product of that. And so I think it's been a really cool thing to see all those pieces fall in place with 2028, with 2027, with the new kids coming in as freshmen. Like, it's just the landscape that's being set is going to really help this program have a good longevity and last.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think bringing in, the high level kids, like winners win. I mean, that's just how it
winners win.
And so
mic drop.
They do. And I think like if they can understand that high level as a high schooler, I mean, and with the amount of eyes and pressure on them as well, like there wasn't the media covering, TexAgs wasn't covering our recruiting process, to say the least.
Yeah,
and
sorry guys, I definitely wasn't.
I wouldn't have covered it either. But I'm just like, with the pressure and all of that, like having them be able to handle all that now is just gonna, flourish when they get here. And it's gonna be really fun to watch. Like, I'm so excited to come back and be able to watch, these girls, the transfers that have come in now, like this upcoming season, and watch them all grow.
Yeah, and I know Morrison could say this, like, this is his baby, right? But it's kind of like,
Yes.
it's y'all's
Correct.
baby too. Like you want it to be in good hands, and it's so nice that y'all can look at this program and be like, oh yeah, it's taken care of.
100%.
Right. Well, and I think not only the talent is, of course, what we're going to highlight here, but they're really good people. I've only had a few interactions, but from everything I've heard, it's just good people that are going to help contribute to this program. And, you know, we always say there's a spirit that can never be told here, and it's very important the people who represent the program and are in the program, because that's what's going to, you know, create it to be successful in the long term.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something that I'm so proud of our coaching staff for doing. It's like not only getting great players who are going to contribute play-wise, but getting great people as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's half of what got us to the national championship this year. We spent 3.5 years trying to build a team culture, like a winning culture, not just skill. Like it goes beyond that. And so I think like when you can get a really good group of girls off the court, that directly translates on. So
and that is where Why Not Us comes from.
Yes.
Hey, it worked. So
it did. I would say so.
Speaking of Maya Obog in specific, she's a second generation Aggie. Her dad played basketball here, and I think that's also, we're a bunch of Aggies and second, third, fourth generation Aggies over here. Being one myself, I think that's really cool that the school also drew her to A&M. So can y'all just kind of talk about that draw of having your parents wear maroon and white and just being around this culture when you were little?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can both relate to this. Like, it means the world getting to continue on a legacy and seeing kids that want to also do that as well. Because, like I said, nowadays it's sometimes easy to go and chase the winning team and chase, you know, maybe the volleyball dynasty.
Yeah.
But when you can understand like how amazing this university is, and that there's so much more to it than, you know, athletics and a volleyball program, it gives me comfort to know that like kids like that are coming into this program and going to continue on what we built. For sure.
And that's what made our experience so cool and that's what made it so rewarding is again, like knowing that we came in with the right intentions and building a program and being at the place that we wanted to be. And so it's really cool to see people carrying that on. And honestly, like, because I know how much joy it brought us. And so I love to see for a really high level class of that being able to carry on as well.
For sure.
So I think that'll be a really big piece, and 12th Man loves that too. So I think it'll be great.
Oh, yeah. We talked recruiting. I just want to get y'all's brief thoughts on what the 2026 Aggies will look like. They won't have 12 and 9 out there, but they'll look a little different. Y'all have kind of been around practices. Obviously, y'all know a lot of the current girls, but even some of the new ones, new middles they brought in. Sutter, Lily Nicholson. Just what are y'all expecting out of them?
Yeah, so I've been around a bunch of them, met a lot of them, and I love them. Really good people, and so I'm really excited to see, you know, what's in store. I think this freshman class coming in is going to be really good in the long term, and so that's what, you know, also tying back to like 2027 and 2028 coming in. I think they're going to set a really good tone. You know, and just be able to show them the ropes after this year. All the transfers coming in, big transfers that are really going to help the program. And so, I mean, this year it's definitely going to be establishing, you know, their own identity early, and just getting ready to go for season. But I'm really excited, and I'm happy to be around so that I can go and watch, because it's a great group of people who I think are going to be really good.
Yeah, no, like you said, like I'm excited to see them establish their own identity as a team. Because obviously we did what we did last year. We're helping build, you know, a winning program, but it's a new team, completely new girls, new personalities. Like I'm excited to watch them, you know, mesh on the court and see the 12th man kind of adopt them, like they did with us. And so it's going to be weird sitting in the stands at Reed and not being on the court. Probably a little emotional first game. But overall, like super excited to watch.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest thing for me is I'm going to have to calm the fan base down and be like, hey guys, it's not the same team as last year.
You got to figure them out.
It is very different. We can't think they're winning a national championship on day one. We got to temper expectations. All of that. But I want to get y'all's final thoughts on just the trajectory of the program long term with recruiting, all this stuff. You know, in this 2028 class, Morrison and company beat out some big name volleyball programs, some blue bloods who have been known to do the biggest and baddest things. How cool is it that A&M is in that conversation?
Well, and that's when I said, wow, of like, that is a true testament to what we're building here. I mean, for them to go and get a big class like that and to just compete. I mean, we know that the school down the road has always been the leader in Texas of volleyball, and, you know, they're not the only ones anymore. And so I'm really proud of just how far this program has come in such a short amount of time. there's so much more growth to happen. And I think that, we're able to see in the next few years of just, the ability to keep what we have going with the recruits that we've gotten. So I see the future's pretty bright for Aggie volleyball. I don't know about you.
No, I agree. I think just kind of like you said, how we kind of hopped on the Jamie train when he got here, people see his style of play and they're believing in it. And these kids believe in his vision and his program and this university. They see all that it has to offer, I think partially due to kids like us who share, our legacy stories and why we chose A&M, not just for the volleyball. And so I think with kids believing in all of that stuff and kind of adopting that early, that's going to bring success in. So
I also think one final thought with that, because you had a really good point. I think people love our coaching staff, and that just proves you have a great staff, you have great people who surround your program. You're going to attract people because those are the people that you battle with every single day, and you're in the trenches in summer and all of the things. Those are the people that you're around, and our coaching staff is so good at what they do, and I truly do believe that they're the best in the nation.
Yeah.
And I will say that time and time again. I will literally die on that hill. But yeah, so I think they're a great staff to play for. Jamie's so good at what he does, and he's so passionate about what he does, and Jamie's a winner. So
he's gonna win.
He is a winner. He likes to win. So, but yeah, so I think having a great staff is really going to help this place just continue to grow.
Yeah, well, I appreciate both of y'all very much for sitting down and talking with me. Welcome back anytime.
It feels good to be back. I didn't know if the last time was going to be my last time. So
oh no,
you are
always welcome in the TexAgs studio. Thanks for watching the first episode of The Set.
There it is, The Set episode 1 on TexAgs.com now. Go ahead and check it out if you didn't catch the whole thing. It's worth it. We'll hit a break here. On the other side, Luke Evangelos will share his thoughts on Aggie basketball's open practice yesterday and some news about the SEC schedule and all that good stuff. We'll get into that and more. This is TexAgs Live, presented by David Garner Jewelers.
I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. Everyone, David Nuno here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever, and also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group, and they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em.
Back here on TexAgs Live, we're presented by David Gardner Jewelers. Here inside the Rollo Insurance Studio, Nick Savage and Luke Evangelos filling in for David Nuno, Callie Garner, and Kay Nagley in the host seats tomorrow and Friday. And Luke, the folks have been clamoring for it. Aggie basketball had an open practice yesterday, as well as some news breaking on the schedule front for Texas A&M basketball. So I'll let you start off with the Aggie basketball learning their conference opponents and kind of your initial reaction to it.
Yeah, so they essentially flipped the home and away opponents from last year, and then every year moving forward, you're going to get a new random mirror opponent, which is mirror opponent is when you play a team home and away. So that's Texas, LSU, and then you'll get a third team every year. In the past, it's been OU. This year, it's going to be Vanderbilt. So you look at last year and the year before that, A&M went 10-2 against mirror opponents. OU, Texas, and LSU were kind of perennial mid to bottom half teams in the SEC. Now this offseason, Texas and LSU get way better, and then you trade out a bottom 5 team in OU for a top 5 team in Vanderbilt, and then you get essentially 3 more top 25 teams at home with Alabama, Arkansas, and Tennessee all expected to be contenders for the SEC title. And then you got to go on the road to Florida and Kentucky. So Bucky said they've got the second toughest strength of schedule in the SEC. I believe it after looking at this schedule. And at the end of the day, I think the knock on A&M last year was, they had the easiest schedule in SEC play because of how bad their mirror opponents were. Well, as we know, you don't really control who's on the schedule. You just play the next team in front of you. So I like that this one is more challenging. I like that they get a lot of their tough games at home. And then I like the fact that if A&M's going to be competing for a top 8 national seed in the NCAA tournament, you got to have a lot of quality quad 1 and quad 1A wins on that schedule, and they're going to get more than enough opportunities to stack those quad 1A wins when you have to go at Texas, at Vanderbilt, at Florida, at Kentucky. There's going to be a lot of high-quality games for A&M. So I love the schedule. I love what they've got in non-conference, very manageable for them there, and then ultimately getting them ready for the tests they have in SEC play. It's going to be a gauntlet.
Alrighty, so what'd you learn about the team yesterday? Open practice, getting to see the new look Aggies, and just what are some of your takeaways? I know y'all got to talk to Bucky as well afterwards. So just what'd you see? What'd you hear?
Yeah, I've got like a pretty detailed write-up in my off-season thread if you want to take a look at that. I've got all the scheduling news, all the practice intel you need. I think the biggest takeaway is they're going to be really good. When I walked in the gym last year, there were a lot of exciting pieces, but it took them a while to come together. This year, the talent is undeniable. You walk in that gym, and it just feels different.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they finally have dynamic guards who last year they had guys who could shoot, or they had some guys who could slash. This year, they've got a lot of players who can do both, and I think they're going to be better defensively because of who they have. Guys like Tyshawn Archie and Nico Mundy, who are really aggressive point-of-attack defenders. In terms of how much further ahead they are, I just felt like in late June, yesterday, I walked into a practice that I would have seen last year in late July. I just feel like they're a whole month ahead. Now that they finally got half their team returning, they bring in guys who know this system. They've had high school players who graduated early to learn the system. So I just feel like they're way more further ahead than they were last year. And it's ultimately showing in the fact that guys are picking up the system quicker. It's not, all right, only Josh Holloway knows the system.
Yeah.
Everybody else takes some time to pick it up. This year, with how many players they returned and then bringing in Lucas Walls, who's one of their more vocal leaders from having played in this system for 2 years, things are just running smoother. And now 2.5, 3 weeks into practice, you're not having guys having to stop and learn what Bucky wants. It's a lot more just instant reacting. So they look a lot better. It's hard for me to not just walk in there and get really excited about what this team can do. They still have a long way to go in terms of finding more vocal leadership. There needs to be more aggression. You got to see better interior defensively, but ultimately they're going to get better when they get Mackenzie Mbako fully back, when they get Zach Clements fully back, and both of them should be back here in about a week to 2 weeks. Bucky said the timeline was early July, so I'm fired up for what they've got in the portal. PJ Haggerty, you know, he's as advertised. Everything you see about the returning leading scorer in college basketball, he gives you that in practice. And Bryson Warren, it's just simply a matter of time for when he gets his waiver approved. And he is an unbelievable volume shooter. So I'm really excited about what Bucky and his staff has built. And to get to see it in person, everybody lives up to the hype, and they're going to be really good this year.
About 1 minute here. Just this period, this practice period, is kind of more so used for familiarizing themselves with the system, right? They're not kind of full go. They're just, all these transfer pieces are trying to pick up Bucky ball and what that means. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're adjusting their shot diet from, you know, a lot of these players like PJ took a lot of mid-range shots at their old school.
That's out at
That's like the last resort in this offense. They want to get to the line. They want to get inside. They want to shoot threes. So they're adjusting their shot diet. They're learning how to play faster, but still in control. And then, of course, there's the conditioning aspect to that.
Great point.
Of it's one thing to be in basketball shape, but you got to be in Bucky ball shape. And so it's not just playing fast. At first, you play fast and you're out of control and you're catching your breath. Now, this is that time where they're being able to play fast and still be in control and know exactly what's expected of them. So it's a lot of learning the expectations of the system, but that's gone a lot faster when last year they didn't even have their full team here and ready to practice until mid-July. So it took them longer to teach 14 players, whereas now everybody's been here since early June and you only have to teach 8 new players. So it's just everything's moving a lot faster, and I think you're going to see them start the season a lot faster as opposed to last year. We all watched that Oklahoma State game and we're like, this doesn't even look like a team playing organized basketball. I think they're going to get the kinks out a lot earlier.
Perfect. Thank you, Luke. We'll hit a break here, and we will get a chance to talk to Brandon Leone, former Texas A&M running back, friend of the show. Always a great time to catch up with Brandon. We'll do so on the other side. You're listening to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Hey friends, David Nuno here, talking to my buddies. I got Sheldon and Danny Shelley of Aggieland Hydration. Sheldon, I want to start off with you. What is different about Aggieland Hydration?
So we're a 100% mobile IV company. We are opening a storefront later this year in Bryan College Station, but we come to you, and we have about 10 nurses that serve the area.
Danny, what's one thing that people get wrong about IV hydration?
The one thing I would say is everyone thinks the needle stays in your arm the whole time. So when you get poked with the needle goes away, a small little catheter stays in, and that's how you get your infusion.
And then Sheldon, do you guys do a bunch of events? Are you all around town?
Yes, we did the Troubadour Festival. We try to do one event a month in the Bryan College Station area.
That's great. That's why we see you everywhere. Danny, what's the best drip for somebody who's active, who thinks they're active? Weekend warrior, like what's the best drip out there?
Yeah, so our overall wellness strip is our Myers cocktail. It has 6 different vitamins in it. That's what I would say for your average adult. People who are big into working out, or if they work outside a lot, I would recommend the Maroon Muscle Recovery. That one has 10 different vitamins in it, and it's really geared towards recovery and removing toxins from the body.
All right, so if somebody wants to check you out, what's the website?
It is Aggieland Hydration and Injectables.com.
All right, the phone number, by the way, is 979-217-1561. It is Aggieland Hydration.
We're back here, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, here inside the Rollo Insurance Studio. Nick Savage and Luke Evangelos filling in for David Nunez. We're going to go out to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, talk to one of my favorite guests. you talk to him about Aggie football, and you just feel great about what's going down. So we'll head out to the hotline. Brandon Leone joining us on the program. Mr. Leone, how are you, sir? Good to hear from you.
It's great to see two young kings in there today holding it down in the studio. It makes me happy.
Yes,
you guys
sir.
doing all right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're
yes,
good.
sir. Hey, so I know your style, Brandon. When it's football season, you're all in. You're digesting everything, right? But right now, this time of year, you're kind of pulled back, right? You're enjoying the off season. So just as we sit a few months out from the 2026 season, how are you feeling about Aggie football as we get closer to kickoff?
I'm probably feeling like most people. I would say a little bit more than cautiously optimistic. We obviously lost some top talent, but we brought a ton in. And I'll tell you the thing that I think has made me more excited as these years keep stacking for Elko is just the way in which him and his staff have addressed the portal. Obviously, recruiting is going off the walls right now, and I think it's going to continue to trend that way. But knowing and seeing not just the people that he's brought in, but the way they've gone about identifying talent, developing it, and plugging the right gaps in the roster and in the lineup. And so, like you said, this summer's been busy. I'm not as dialed in as usual, but I do know from the offseason in the spring, the pieces that he's added and continues to add with this next signing class. So that gives me confidence because I believe him and his staff have absolutely installed their culture and that there's some buy-in. And you could see that when recruiting starts to uptick like this as well.
There's definitely been an uptick in high school recruiting, and that's meant that there's less holes to fill every year in the portal, but they definitely made big splashes with guys like Isaiah Horton and Anto Saka and rebuilding the whole offensive line. Is there any guy in specific that you just cannot wait to watch, like one transfer you can't wait to see that first video of for fall practice?
Yeah, there was a 12-man Champions Council event in the spring where we were able to come out and watch practice for a little bit and hang out. And so that's typically the only time I go see practice. And I honestly was excited about seeing everybody, but I stood like directly in front of the team when they were doing 1v1 and team, and then also individual with receivers. And man, a lot of y'all saw him in the spring game and throughout offseason, but I think Horton is a really big addition. I mean, I think we really needed some size at that position. And watching him out there, the way that he has body control when he's in the air, his hands, how hard he practices, that's something to me that has always stood out. There's a lot of guys out there that in high school think that they can just cruise through practice and turn it on at game time. Maybe that's true, but for the most part, at this level, you got to practice hard. And Isaiah was extremely impressive to me in the way that he approached and the way he handled his work as an incoming transfer.
Talking to Brandon Leone here on the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. Brandon, what is your two-part question here? What is your biggest reason to be excited about this team? And what is your biggest area of concern as we talk here today in mid-June?
The biggest reason for excitement is the collection of skill talent that we have, I think, on the running back receiver position. I know some of it may be unproven, but I think that there's a ton of young talent there. I think my biggest reason for concern, and I hate this because he's one of my favorite guys we've had in a long time. I really believe for us to take the next step as a program, we have to have consistent elite quarterback play. We just got to have it. And so I guess the other side of that excites me is knowing how hard Marcel works, knowing how 10 goes about improving, and he's done it every single year. But hoping to see that as we get late into the season and team has more film on him, they have the ability to start to adjust to see some of his weaknesses exposed, whether that be in our offense, whether that be in his abilities, I don't know. But watching Marcel fully reach his potential because, man, he's such a dynamic athlete. I think he's a phenomenal leader. I really love his personality. I love his character. I love his work ethic. And there's not one quarterback in a long time that I'd want to see succeed more than him. But I do think for us to take that next step, and I would assume for all three of us and most people listening, that next step is an SEC championship or a national championship. We've got to have elite quarterback play from beginning to end of the season. It's the only shot.
Yeah, I think last year the big key was, could you just keep a quarterback healthy for an entire year? And now we want to see Marcel take that next step now that he finished an entire season healthy. He had his bumps and bruises, but ultimately he did play in every game. I want to know, how much can a rebuilt offensive line help Marcel look good with that progression? We look at A&M taking players from other SEC programs. Sometimes rebuilding that offensive line can be tricky because you never know what you have in a maroon and white uniform, but also they've got high school talent to supplement with that. I want to know your thoughts on just what Coach Cushing and Coach Elko did in rebuilding the offensive line.
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad you said that, Luke, because that was probably the other reason for the excitement, is seeing the caliber of the players in the portal that we did pull in to address the gaps on the line of scrimmage. And y'all know this. Y'all are both somewhat young, so you know more of us in the SEC, I would think, than you do back when I played in the Big 12. You have got to control the line of scrimmage. And that feeds into the concern we just had. You know, I think if they can protect Marcel, continue to give him a pocket, he can continue to develop better. But the thing that encourages me about that gelling and that development is that it is portal guys that have SEC experience. These are players. It's not like it was when I played, where you bringing in guys, you develop them, you redshirt them if they need to, and you kind of hope they learn and mature. These are guys that have played, you know, for different teams in this conference. And so, you know, that they have had the experience of facing and challenging the D-line in this conference. And y'all know this, NFL draft can show everybody this. The talent on the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball in the SEC is second to none. And so to me, I'm encouraged by that, Luke, and the fact that we've got some veteran players that have played and have played a lot of the same teams that we're going to face again this year. So Elko and Cushing have done a great job identifying what they need for the roster, going and getting them. And I mean, to me, the biggest thing from a development standpoint that stands out to me was watching Nate get drafted in the second round. Like, that was so wild to me. And that just goes to show you, one, he's a great player, obviously, but to see that he was someone that everyone's like, oh, yeah, I guess we got a tight end, you know, he's all right. And the dude goes in the second round, 1 year in the system. That's unbelievable. That's development. That's coaching. And that's what you want to see as we're kind of trying to change our identity nationally as a program from a developmental standpoint.
Brandon, is there any game on the schedule that you have circled? And if we need to go through the schedule with you, we can do that, kind of read some games out. I don't know if you have it in front of you, but is there anyone, at least in the top of your mind, that kind of sticks out to you right now?
Yeah, absolutely. The last game of the season. Yeah. It's time to beat their ass. Like, 2 years in a row, they have kept us from playing in an SEC championship. Despite all the different things we navigated in those last 2 years, we got to finish the deal. And so this will sound like coach speak. In my heart, as an Aggie, I want to see us beat Texas. I feel like we were the better team last year. They played better, executed, and won. The first year, I had a feeling we were going to take an L. Sorry, I was just being real about it. Like, they were a good team. But this year, you know, we get them back at Kyle Field. It's year 3. I expect us to win that game. We need to if we want to take that step. But most important game is the first game. Like, truly, man. Like, it is a long journey. Every team has a different identity. And so I'm excited for the first game to see how we do and then just go one at a time.
I think it was maybe Brian Kelly who popularized this, was October's for pretenders, November's for contenders. I know it didn't exactly work out for Brian Kelly at LSU, but I think that statement, when you look at A&M's schedule in November, right, they've got a trip to Norman, they've got Tennessee, they've got South Carolina. That November schedule, there is no longer easing into it with a bye game the week before you go play at Auburn or you play Texas. That November schedule is incredibly tough. And we talk about A&M football being able to finish the season better, right? We talk about finishing, and the first year, things kind of fell apart at the end. The second year, they lost their last 2 games. Brandon, what is it about a team's mentality late in the season that needs to change in terms of getting your veteran leaders together to keep a team focused all year to make sure that you're playing your best ball in the last month of the year?
Man, Luke, that's a great question. I think for me, and I said this last year, I got a little bit nervous when we started all the Marcel Heisman stuff. And I'm not trying to be like the jinxing, like negative, whiny Nancy. Like, I just was like, man, I want us to fly low key. I don't want the hype. Like, I want us to just continue to play, continue to execute. I felt like after LSU game, there was so much hype about us. Everyone was talking about A&M could win the Natty. And I was like, gosh, dang it. You know, because I don't care. All these kids, all these coaches will say they're not reading, they're not paying attention. Man, it's 2026. You can't escape the hype if you are a hot team and you're playing well. I think ultimately what we need to do is realize and accept, and I think Elko is doing this. And again, last year's another tough lesson, losing a home playoff game, losing to Texas, 2 games that I think you could have won. These guys have to understand it doesn't matter. Like, until you finish, none of that other stuff matters. It looks good when they show Coach Elko's record at the beginning of a game when it starts off, but nobody cares unless you win. And these guys have the talent. They have the resources. We've been talking about this on this show for a really long time. I think ultimately what you need, not from Elko and his staff, because I know they're doing it, the players have to understand it doesn't matter anymore. I know you got a little bread in your pocket. You're making some money. You got NIL, social media is popping. Y'all are a top preseason team. Go freaking finish. And then watch what comes after that. Like, what are people going to say if A&M actually finishes in November, Luke? Like, what if we go 4-0 in November? It will be the most hype this program has had since any of us have been alive. And so I think for them, different kind of generation and culture than me, just go finish the job. You're talented enough to do it. Focus on 1 week at a time. And then ultimately the thing that I think they have an advantage on is I do think these coaches and this staff I've watched how they've helped try to keep guys healthy along the way and maintain through the season. And so just maintaining recovery, doing what you're supposed to do during the week before the game as players, and staying focused. Keep your eyes on the main prize, not the Sports Center clips during the middle of the season. What's up in November, December, January? That's what matters.
Brandon, you rock. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes out of your day, and we'll be talking to you pretty much every week here soon enough.
Yes, sir. Can't wait. Young K's holding it down. Y'all
Thanks.
Good to see you.
See ya. That's Brandon Leone on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. One quick segment on the other side. This is TexAgs Live presented by David Garner's Jewelers. We're back here, TexAgs Live, shortest segment of all time. We'll set up the 10 o'clock hour. Up next at 10, Ben Keating, endurance race car driver and an Aggie. We'll have the Texas A&M women's rodeo team, all 4 national champs, and head coach on the show, as well as Jason Howell with Recruiting Country. All that and more on the other side. This is TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner Jewelers. All right, Luke, as the resident racing expert in the TexAgs office, I'm pretty excited about this next segment. I'll try not to geek out too much because I love all things racing. And as soon as I found out there was an Aggie winning one of the biggest races in the world for his 3rd time in his career, we had to get him on. So we'll go out to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, talk to Ben Keating, Texas A&M class of '94. Like I mentioned, he recently won the 24-hour of Le Mans for his 3rd time. He's won the 24 hours at Daytona, at Sebring, Petit Le Mans. He's all over the place, winning a bunch of trophies. Ben Keating, how are you, sir?
Howdy, I am doing great. And, I'll say I know I have finally hit the big time when I get an invitation to come on to the TexAgs podcast. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to Callie Garner for setting this up for us. So, Ben, like I mentioned, I'm a big racing fan. NASCAR is my sport, but I pay attention to all things motorsports, and endurance racing is another animal on its own. So I'm just want to start, I guess, take us all the way back. How did you even get into racing, professional racing? Tell us that story.
So I've been racing for 20 years. 20 years ago, my wife, who is also class in 94, bought me a weekend at Texas World Speedway in College Station, for Christmas. And I didn't know that it was possible for a regular guy to take his own car on the track and experience it like that. I took a Viper off the showroom floor of my Dodge dealership in Port Lavaca and drove it to Texas World Speedway, and it was the most fun I'd ever had. And I just promised myself I would continue to do it. And it turns out I was pretty good. And so, I graduated to club racing, and I won 3 championships doing that. And then I graduated to Chrysler's, had their spec series where everybody's in the same Dodge Viper called the Dodge Viper Cup, and I won that championship 2 years in a row. And then I finally graduated to endurance sports car racing, in the last year of the American Le Mans Series, and then in IMSA, which is the North American-based endurance sports car series. I won that championship in 21 and 22, driving an LMP2 prototype, which is going to mean nothing to the vast majority of the listeners here. But it's another spec class, and I eventually it created some sort of a love affair with the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And this was my 12th Le Mans to compete in the last 12 years. It's crazy to me. I've driven 10 different cars in this race, and I've won it 3 out of the last 5 years in the GT class, which is just outrageous. It's hard for me to even fathom, how that has happened. But the old racers often say that Le Mans chooses you. It chooses who it wants to win. And I can look back at all 3 of those victories, and I can sincerely, it definitely feels like we were blessed, we were chosen, that things came together for us in a way that created the opportunity to win. So it's just an awesome experience to be able to represent Texas, represent A&M, represent the Corvette, which I represent as a dealer around the state as well. So it's just a cool experience.
If my math is correct, it sounds like you had already been out of college for a decade when you made that career change. So I want to know, what were you doing before? How intimidating was it to make that unconventional switch? And could you have ever imagined that it would turn out like this 20 years later?
So it's very important that you understand that I have not made a career change. My vocation is I'm a car dealer. I am the largest car dealer. The Keating Auto Group is the largest auto group in the state of Texas. I've got 33 dealerships, 6 of them in Bryan College Station. And so my vocation is selling and servicing cars. My recreation is racing cars. And I have a lot of people ask me, I want to go out and become a race car driver. What should I do? How do I follow in your footsteps? And my answer is always, the first thing you have to do is to go out and figure out how to make a lot of money, because it's outrageously expensive. I am paying to be here. I am not being paid to be here. But I will also say that the way it's kind of worked out in my racing career, my financial ability to pay for it has kind of grown at the same level or the same rate as my skill behind the wheel. There were some years in the mortgage crisis, kind of credit crunch time period, where I really couldn't afford to be there. But it was kind of like a drug where I had to go get my fix, and I was spending money I didn't really have. Luckily, it's all worked out pretty well.
Ben, talk to us a little bit about the challenges of endurance racing and maybe why that type of racing drew your interest the most. Because you're in, these are 24-hour races. You're with a team. Your stints can be 6 hours or so. So just talk to us a little bit about that.
Again, a lot of the people listening to the show won't understand that, I'm not in the car for 24 hours.
Yeah.
There are 3 different drivers in this race. I'm racing in the World Endurance Championship, and it doesn't matter if it's 6, 8, 10, 12, 24, however long the race happens to be, they're the same 3 drivers in all the races. Every driver is required to do a minimum of 6 hours in this 24-hour race, but you're not allowed to do more than 4 hours during any 6-hour period. So you switch out drivers during a pit stop when you're refueling and changing tires and that type of thing. So for me, once you learn the skill of how to drive a race car fast, then the most challenging part of it is to be able to have a really high heart rate for a really long period of time and still make really good decisions. Obviously, you have to make a good decision when you're going 190 miles an hour into a corner, and your race and your life kind of depend on it, right? And so, the best way I've found to simulate that in real life is by riding a bike. And so I know from years and years of cycling and racing that my heart rate is similar. So I can have 150 beats per minute on the bike for 3 hours, and I know how my body reacts to that. And in racing circles, a lot of broadcasters or friends would refer to me as the Iron Man of racing, because I like to be in the car for a long period of time because it's in a competitive advantage. And one of the main reasons why we won Le Mans this year is that I did my full 6 hours of driving in the first 8 hours of the race. And so I did it faster than any other bronze-rated driver in the race. Every car in the GT class has a bronze, silver, and a gold or platinum that's a pro driver. The bronze driver is typically over 50. And the silver driver is typically under 25. And so, I was the old guy in the car. I'm the bronze driver, and I'm the slowest driver in the car. I'm not hiring anybody to race with me that's slower than me. And so, it was a big advantage for me to be able to get my drive time done in the first 8 hours of the race, which is legally as early as you're allowed to do it. But I was the only bronze driver in the race to accomplish that. And, I mentioned about Le Mans choosing you. We had a safety car at the very end of my 6 hours time. And so, I got to make up all the time that I lost during my drive time to the pros because and I was the only bronze driver to complete my drive time that early. So then we're right on the tail of all the fast guys, and we get our fast guy to run in the car for the rest of the race, and everybody else has to put their bronze back in the car. So it was a big competitive advantage in this particular race. The big challenge was in March. I was mountain biking in Arizona, had a big crash and shattered my elbow.
Oh, man.
And so I had total reconstruction surgery on my elbow 9 weeks prior to the race. And so that was the biggest challenge for me this year because the doctors didn't think I should be out there racing.
Yeah. Ben, I'm glad you brought up the biking and the high heart rate because there's some national talking heads out there that'll tell you that race car drivers aren't athletes, right? But you're not driving your mom's sedan down the road. These cars aren't easy to drive. Am I right?
Yeah, most people, I love giving rides to people.
I'd love to do
cars.
that, by the way, whenever we can.
Because people don't realize how violent a race car is. When you're doing all your braking and turning at the limit, and the limit in these cars, because the tires have so much grip and the cars are designed with so much downforce, it's crazy how violent it is in the car. And it's really hot in the car. You have a lot of adrenaline going, and it's like you're exercising in a sauna. And so my typical heart rate while driving the car is around 150 beats per minute. And like I said a minute ago, it's hard to continue to make really precise, really good decisions and to operate at that peak level after you've had this really high heart rate for 3 hours at a time and you're exhausted. And so that's kind of where the endurance sport or the endurance athlete comes into play in this particular type of racing.
Do you ever let sometimes your recreational driving habits spill over into driving to work, and how many speeding tickets do you have?
So I would generally say I get it out on the racetrack, and I'm typically pretty calm in a street car. However, the people that ride with me would say differently. My wife hates to be in a car with me when we land at the airport after a race because I still haven't switched over yet to being calm. And we were laughing this last week with our architect. We're in the middle of a remodel project, and we were laughing with the architect because he says I'm the only person he's ever ridden with who puts the throttle to the floor at every opportunity, at every pit, at every stoplight, and that's just, I don't know, it's how I drive. So it doesn't seem outrageous to me, but apparently I scare the crap out of everybody that rides with me.
Ben, one final question before we let you get out of here. Just what's next for you, right? You said it's a drug, you can't get off it, so you got more races planned later this year or maybe next year?
So, I am competing in the World Endurance Championship this year. Because of my elbow, I missed the first 2 races. So I missed the race at Imola in Italy and at Spa in Belgium. In 2 weeks, our next race is in Brazil. In Sao Paulo. And so, on July 8th, I'll be flying to Brazil to compete in that race. It's a 6-hour race. But because Le Mans is a double points race, even though I missed the first 2 races of the season, I'm second place in the points for the overall championship. My teammates are in first place. And so, My goal for the season is to be on the podium. I can't ever beat my teammates, but I'll be racing in Brazil in 2 weeks, and then in the first weekend of September, I'll be at Circuit of the Americas in Austin. So I'd love to invite anybody to come check out the World Endurance Championship race. They call it the Lone Star Le Mans. And so I hope that I'd invite everybody to come out, go to the Aggie game, the opening day Aggie game on Saturday, and then come out to Austin on Sunday to watch the Lone Star Le Mans race.
Sounds like a heck of a doubleheader. Mr. Keating, we really appreciate your time. It was awesome to get to talk to you, and I'll definitely be following along all season. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. I'm super excited to be on the show. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
Ben Keating on the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. 2026 24-hour of Le Mans champion. We'll hit a break here, talk to some more champions, national champions. The Texas Aggie Women's Rodeo National Championship team going to join me, and we'll catch up with the whole crew and Coach Hannegriff. So come on back. You're listening to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, you guys. Have a good one.
It was a year of national championships for Texas A&M women's sports, and the Texas Aggie women's rodeo team added another one to it. And we're joined by the whole squad here on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We've got head coach Dr. Roger Hannegriff, Devin Young, Celie Simpton, Lucy Richards, and McKinley Pascal. And we'll go out to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. And we'll start with you, Coach Hannegriff. First of all, congrats on the CNFR Women's National Championship. First one for Texas A&M since 2002. Just what does it mean to you to see these girls succeed?
For me, it's everything. It's why we do the job. It's what we are passionate about, and I could not be more proud. All year, the girls dominated our southern region, and so to make it there to the college finals and then just really actually dominate the series there was really what it was about. A lot of fun.
Absolutely. We'll go to Devin Young, the youngin'. She won the individual barrel racing national champion. She is the CNFR Women's Rookie of the Year. And Devin, just congratulations, first of all, and how awesome was it to accomplish that and win a national championship with your teammates?
Oh, it was so amazing. I always dreamed of going to A&M, and to be able to promote them through my sport is just, it really means the world to me. I'm just so excited. I'm so glad we could win the women's team. It really means a lot.
Absolutely. And I'll open up to the entire group. Just kind of tell me, how'd y'all get into rodeo and how'd you get to A&M? So I guess, Devin, we can start it with you.
So my family has always rodeoed. My aunts and uncles team roped, my grandpa team roped, my dad did, my mom ran barrels. So I kind of grew up surrounded by it, and a lot of my family went to A&M, and they loved the rodeo team. So I kind of always knew A&M was the place for me, and I always knew I wanted to rodeo in college.
Celie?
Yeah, so I'm from Navasota, just right down the road from College Station. So I feel like it's always kind of been a given to go to A&M, and I've grown up around rodeo for as long as I could remember. My mom and dad both rodeoed, and same with Devin, my grandparents as well. It's kind of always been a family thing.
Absolutely. McKinley?
So yeah, same thing. A lot of my family's rodeoed for a long time. My dad, uncles, grandparents, mom. So it's kind of just been like from since I was little, and just loved it ever since. And coming to A&M, it was kind of just something I've always wanted to do. Wasn't really a family thing. I just knew it was a great school and a good community, and I really wanted to be a part of it.
And then Lucy?
So I've rodeoed since I was 4 years old. My parents also did it. My dad rodeoed for A&M as well as my sister, so it's really just been in my genes to go to A&M, and I'm really glad I did. It's been a great opportunity.
Lucy, we'll keep it here with you because you're the goat tire out of the bunch. So just for maybe the Aggies that are unfamiliar with what goat tying is, still a relative, or it's a sport, right, that's mainly prominent in the college ranks, amateur ranks. So just tell us about what it feels like to come hauling butt into arena. If you've never seen a goat tying event, it's crazy. Y'all are jumping off the horses at full speed. So just tell us a little bit about what that feels like.
A lot of adrenaline. You get off your horse going 20, 30 miles an hour, sometimes faster. So you really have to just focus on your footwork and being able to nail the get off so that you are able to go and tie the goat. But there's a lot of practice that goes into it, just being able to get off your horse and just the ground tying. Because if you can't nail the get off, then you're probably going to struggle ground tying.
Mm-hmm. And Lucy, your sister won a national championship at Texas A&M, and now you get to say you've done the same. So what does that mean to you and your family?
It means everything. We've worked incredibly hard to get to this point, and being able to follow my sister's footsteps is amazing. And my sister and I are fifth generation Aggies, so just being able to do this for Texas A&M is incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now we'll go to all the barrel racers. And Devin, I guess we can start with you. Just tell me about the different challenges of barrel racing, right? You go to different arenas. Just how is it different from rodeo to rodeo, and what are some of those challenges?
Every arena is different. All year we actually competed in bigger arenas than what we did at the CNFR. So coming into the CNFR, I think we all had to come up with a different game plan, how we were going to run our horse and how we were going to do it differently than what we've done all year long. So I think it worked out for all of us because we know our horses really well. We've been riding them for a really long time. So I think for the three of us, it really worked out in our favor.
Seeley?
Yeah, kind of backtracking off of that compared to what we have down south. But looking at what was the setup at the CNFR, it was definitely a way smaller pin. You're ending into a closed gate, which is something not a lot of us are used to. But like Devin said, all of us are very, very familiar with our horses and have been running them for a long time. So I think we all worked really well. And I mean, just us individually, but also as a team, we're not only rooting for ourselves, but I mean, I can speak for me and McKinley. As soon as we were done running in the short round, we were back there waiting for Devin to make her run. So, I mean, really, it's just a team effort. And I'm so glad we all got to compete alongside each other.
McKinley, I'll let you take this next question. Just talk to us a little bit about how the horses y'all are riding. You know, they're considered athletes too. And I know Devin's horse, Tequila, won quarter horse of the year as well. So just tell us a little bit about how much it means, or how important it is, I should say, to be comfortable with your horse and your teammate pretty much.
Yeah, so obviously we wouldn't be able to do what we do without our amazing animal athletes. So they're really what keeps the show going. They're super important to us. So preparing and just being confident in them and knowing that they're going to take care of us like throughout their job and throughout what we need to accomplish. Most of us have had our horses for like quite a long time and been rodeoing on them. So we really know all their buttons and all the little things about them. So going up to the CNFR, it was like, yes, it was nerve-wracking, but it's also like we feel confident that we can do this, we can accomplish great things because we know our horses are going to take care of us, and they're just super awesome, obviously. And so, yeah.
Like I mentioned, this is the first women's national championship for Aggie Rodeo since 2002. It's the third women's national title in the 2025-26 athletics calendar for, I know y'all are on a different one, but for Texas A&M athletics, right? Aggie volleyball wins, women's tennis wins, and now all of y'all pick up another title. So just whoever wants to take it, what does it mean to continue that winning tradition? Devin? Yep.
I guess,
whoever wants to take it.
well, I know I didn't win the individual title, but like I was saying earlier, just to be a part of a team is something we don't really get a lot in rodeo. Mm-hmm. Rather than like being in college rodeo, it's different competing for something more than yourself. And I find a lot of value in that. And I'm very grateful to be a part of that. And I mean, just to go to a school like this and not only represent our small team, but just the university as a whole. And we may not be on the same scale as the athletics, but still it is a really big deal for us. And I'm glad we're getting the recognition and people are recognizing our work.
Absolutely. So one last question for all of y'all. You know, A&M's produced plenty of pro cowboys and cowgirls. So I know y'all are all still in school, but do you have any plans to continue that professional rodeo dream once you get out of school?
I guess I'll go first. Sort of, kind of. Right now, I'm still out here on the road. I've yet to make it home. Gonna rodeo out here for a month, and then we have another collegiate all-star competition me and Lucy will be competing in at Colorado State University in their football stadium, actually. So
that's cool.
We all, I think, we all have our own plans, but definitely still rodeoing on the side and making it where we can. Lucy's competing for the rookie of the year for pro rodeo, and she could talk more about that as well.
Yeah, so this is my rookie year. I leave actually today to just head out to go north to rodeo pretty much all summer, so I'm excited about that. It's a completely different like setup than the college rodeo kind of. It's pretty much all on your own. There's not really a team aspect about that, so that's a little different, but I still really enjoy getting to rodeo and pro rodeo, and it's not just college rodeo.
Devin or Lucy? Or McKinley, excuse me.
McKinley, do you want to go? Yeah. I actually pro rodeoed last year. I went up north and did
all the different states and got to enjoy the nice weather for a little bit. I've decided this summer to kind of just be home and do some Texas rodeos, but in October when the new season starts, I really plan to go out and hit the pro rodeo trail really hard.
And Devin, I know you got a long way to go, but you can wrap us up.
Yes, I would love to pro rodeo, but right now with my major, it's very demanding. So my chance would be over the summer, but for now, since Tequila does so amazing, we're going to give him a little break, maybe for a week or two, and then start hitting the local and then maybe Oklahoma and Texas barrel races. Winning the title last week, I actually got the opportunity to go run, I think, at the American and at the Premier Women's Rodeo. So I'm really excited about that in the upcoming months. So those will be my next big rodeos.
Awesome. Well, hey, ladies, congrats. I appreciate y'all taking some time. I know you're all out on the road and, doing your own thing, but I appreciate you taking some time. Again, congrats. We're all happy for you, and we can't wait to see what y'all do next year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thanks to Dr. Hannagriff and Brett Richards as well for helping me square that away. That's the national champion Texas Aggie women's rodeo team. You can support them at aggierodeo.com. We'll hit a break here, get to recruiting country with Jason Howell on the other side. This is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Garner Jewelers. It's time for the best segment of the week because we all love Jason Howell. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner Jewelers here inside the Rollo Insurance Studio, and it is Recruiting Country, presented by American Momentum Bank, the only privately owned bank headquartered in Bryan College Station. American Momentum Bank is committed to helping our community prosper by offering you a wide array of personal and business banking solutions, specifically designed to help build financial success with confidence and momentum on your side. Jason, if you could do a rodeo event, what do you think you would be best at?
I'm just gonna go. I don't think I'd be good at any of them, but I get me on a bull and just get me off. Like that's it. Like I'm just saying. I think the quicker, the better I would, or the more likely I'd have a chance of succeeding.
Surviving.
The longevity might not be the the key there. So
absolutely. Well, hey Jason, it's actually been a week since we got to talk to you, and on Thursday of last week, 5-star linebacker Caden Henderson announced his pledge to Texas A&M. So just give us your scout of him and what kind of linebacker the Aggies are getting.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best all-around linebacker in the country. He's 6'2", 220 pounds. He brings the versatility you need in an every down SEC type linebacker. He's a guy that stays on the field. He's got the intelligence to be your play caller. You're the guy that's going to get everybody set up, get the defense right, and everybody in the right positions, like we kind of saw with Torian there. And he has the size and the athleticism to go and be a playmaker at the position. He's a sideline-to-sideline tackler. He's got the range to drop into coverage. He can be your guy matched up on a running back and tight end, and he can come off the edge as well as just get downhill, and he sees it. He sees that action coming at him, and he's not afraid to go attack. But yeah, just a all-around big-time linebacker get for the Aggies.
Jason, what holes, if any, are there still left to fill with this class? They've obviously got the number one class in 2027. They've got 23 commits, but what is still left out there for them?
I'd say running back is probably the biggest question mark right now. You've still got some pretty big targets left on the board, and Landon Williams-Callis, who's nearing a decision there, one of the top running backs in the country, rated the top back in the state. We have him as a 5-star in the TexAgs rating system. Just been highly productive guy, and you're fighting a tough competition there with the likes of Texas, SMU, Oregon, and LSU, some of the top schools in the country there. But and then you've got Sherrod Baker, who's kind of a flip target from Texas Tech. A&M's been very involved throughout. Trooper has a great relationship with both of those guys. Those have been kind of the main targets this cycle. And we're waiting to see what happens. I put the best odds on Landon right now. He's uncommitted. He's taken a visit to A&M here recently, and the Aggies are major players there. Sherrod, he's committed to Tech. It's gonna take some major things happening to make that flip happen. But if anybody can do it, it's Trooper. The one thing I do point to is Trooper Taylor is as elite a recruiter as you have. So it's a question, but you got a guy who's been proven. He can make magic happen on a recruiting trail, and feel pretty confident that offensive line group they're putting together is gonna attract some attention from some top running backs.
Jason, the new eligibility model that the NCAA approved yesterday, the 5 years to play 5 seasons, just how do you think that's going to affect high school recruiting or the way teams, strategize or the players they go after? Do you see any trickle-down effect there?
No, I mean, especially when it comes to like A&M, you're looking at you still going to have a developmental plan. If anything, it's going to open up some things where you're not going to have these guys that are playing 8 years in college football. So I think, yeah, you're going to. It's really probably, I wouldn't suspect it's going to change up too much from what A&M's doing as far as how they're attacking the transfer portal and the high school recruiting front. They're recruiting high-level guys that they think can come in and contribute for the most part on the high school ranks. And you're going to have a developmental piece here and there, and you get them both. You get them from the high school ranks and the portal, guys that can fill out the depth chart.
I think when the casual or just kind of neutral college football fan sees that Texas A&M has the #1 recruiting class, everyone's like, all right, here we go again to what happened the last time they had that #1 recruiting class. But why does this class under this staff feel different?
Well, I think the foundation's been laid in the program. The standard's been set from a culture standpoint in a way that I think it's ready to stick, and it's something that has been attractive to a lot of these guys that are committing. You hear a lot of talk from this class about the hard work, putting in the work, and earning their spot on the field, and wanting. They've got a championship mentality, just like. Everybody that's going to play college football, yeah, we're going to win the championship. But this group has achieved at a high level. They see the culture. They love what they see in the spring practices and the tone that's been set in the program. And I think, I think there's a lot of that culture fit. When you talking to Caden Henderson, he spoke about, we don't want to just be the #1 recruiting class. We want to win at a high level at Texas A&M and set a standard, and we want to be known beyond just being a top level recruiting class. So I think that 22 class is also serving as a little it's something that this 27 class is going. We don't want to be like that. And it's motivation for them to go, no, we got to be more than just some stars on some paper.
Last thing here for you, Jason, then we'll let you get out of here. Some big upcoming decisions where this class could get even better. If you want to just run through a few of those names.
Yeah, well, we've got Friday. You got Albert Simeon and Damani Warren. Simeon's down to Notre Dame, A&M, LSU, Nebraska. We're looking at that one. It sounds like it's trending a little bit Notre Dame right now. Damani Warren, we've got a little bit more confidence in the A&M chances there. With Michigan also very much in that battle, Oregon as well. Then Sunday, you've got Eric McFarland out of IMG, 5-star receiver, that's announcing his decision between A&M, Florida, and Georgia. Big time prospect, long time, guy that A&M has been targeted, and a guy that has had A&M high on his list with some strong relationships there with Elko and Coach Wiggins and Coach Perry and those guys. So A&M's situated very well there, and we feel pretty good about the chances there. Joshua Dobson, cornerback out of Cornelius, North Carolina, down to A&M, South Carolina, Michigan, and Auburn. He's announcing July 1st. The Aggies are in a bit of a fight there. I've gone out on a limb here, and I think A&M's in a pretty good spot. But there's some strong competition there, and it's not exactly a clear-cut situation, but there's some things that kind of key me in on A&M's chances there. I put something out the other day on TexAgs, so go check out the form there. And then you've got Mekhi Allen, a linebacker out of Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey, Chase Basantis land, and he's looking at A&M, Syracuse, Rutgers, South Carolina. Texas has been involved there, visited at the end of May, and A&M's been very involved as well. So we like A&M's chances going in there, feeling some good momentum. But again, you got some strong northeast competition there. That's going to be something to watch as he gears up for July 11th. And it's going to be a busy next few weeks. Landon Williams-Callis hasn't announced a date, but he is talking about nearing a decision. And then you got athlete Jaden Fields out of Howell, Texas, who's talked about a July decision. Hasn't set a firm date, but A&M's involved there with SMU, Oklahoma, TCU, and the likes.
Absolutely. Jason, we appreciate your time, and thanks for being flexible with the schedule and all that.
Always, anytime.
All righty, that's Jason Howell, the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. On the other side, Kaylee Dreyer and Cindy Clevenger with In Case You Missed It. This is TexAgs Live, presented by David Garner Jewelers. Segment of the program here on a Wednesday, and of course, well, my mic's off. How embarrassing to start in case you missed it. Nick Savage, Luke Evangelos, filling in for David Nuno. We got Sydney Clevenger and Kaylee Dreyer in the studio for In Case You Missed It. So, ladies, take it away. I'm sure I missed it all.
You did. So I just wanted to start off with something that has been all over Twitter, at least all over my Twitter. It's from Game 3 of the College World Series. So the home plate umpire actually had a picture in an OU shirt on his Facebook, and UNC fans are not happy about this.
Well,
given it didn't really matter because the OU bats were hot and the UNC bats were not. But I do think it is notable. And I just found out recently that he did delete that picture from his Facebook after all of this surfaced.
Well, he clearly blocked that North Carolina Twitter account already. That's funny. But yeah, I feel like that's happened. I think A&M has had referees in their football games before with like the refs had Texas stuff on their social media.
I remember that.
Anyways,
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it. What else we got?
So there's obviously not much news in college sports right now, but there was a big event this past weekend, the U.S. Open. And champion Wyndham Clark was on the Pardon My Take Barstool podcast. And they talked about a tweet that he made in 2016 saying that he hates Baker Mayfield. And that was obviously 10 years ago. And everyone just thought it was like, the OSU-OU rivalry. But turns out his girlfriend at the time actually cheated on him with Baker Mayfield.
Well, if people were digging for tweets back in 2016 or whatnot, that could have been a lot worse.
Yes. And this is a pretty funny story that came out of it. So.
Yeah, I would hate him too if I was in that situation.
Yeah, your girlfriend cheating
friends.
on you with the rival.
Now they're friends? They're friends?
They're homies. They're going to go play golf together.
I don't know.
I wouldn't exactly.
I don't think I wouldn't be able to do that. Got about a minute left here, ladies. What's one final thing that we missed?
I think Luke has something that
I think everybody might have missed this one. If you've been watching the World Cup, you saw, I think when Ghana played, what was it? Like, I think Panama was the first team they played. There was this guy in the crowd, like doing witchcraft and like blowing things into the air. And then he like got famous because of that, because they showed him on camera. And then he went on a podcast and said that he was cursing England's Harry Kane. And wouldn't you know it, England and Ghana played yesterday, and England should win that game 2-3-0. And they ended up tying, and Harry Kane had the potential game-winning shot in like the 87th minute, and he sold it. So there might actually be a curse on Harry Kane.
Well, at least he didn't get hurt or anything like that. It wasn't that kind of curse.
He also
Ladies,
lifted the curse.
Yeah, thank you so much. We got to go. Louis Bellina Show on the other side. Thanks for watching. This is TexAgs Live presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.